So unless you've been living under a rock for the past few years, you've heard of the bar Schmuck. This is the Buildout, and I'm your host, Adam Teeter, joined by Moe and Juliette. Thank you both for telling me the story.
Thank you for having us.
Before we jump into what Schmuck is today, this iconic bar in the East Village we've named our best bar of the year, Next Wave this year. How did both of you get started in this industry?
I start by kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I did a school in Paris, and after when I was 21 years old, after a trip in New York, which is funny, I went to cocktail bar there, and I went back home, and I was like, oh, I want to work in cocktail bar now.
Yeah,
I went to Empoisonné, so it's funny, and they were like kitchen vest. So I was I can do this. I wear the same outfit. And so I came home and I put on internet Cocktail Bar Paris, and I found the Syndicat, which was in my street.
That's amazing.
I was like, hi. And Sullivan, the owner and founder at this time, did the same kitchen school than me. So he was like, yeah, for sure, I take you. And I start like this in a cocktail. But I was in a restaurant since a long time. Yeah.
Okay. Mo, what about you?
Well, I left home at around like 18, 19.
Okay.
And I kind of fell into hospitality. My first job, I was giving out flyers for a pub crawl on Amsterdam around the red light district.
Okay.
So I was just going around and trying to convince people to join this pub crawl. I was like 19 years old, very broke. But one of the bars along the pub crawl was hiring at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I lied on my resume, and I was like, I got tons of bar experience. And they knew I didn't, but, they got me, like, it was like a bar, hostel, and a nightclub all in one building. So they let me do like a couple of barback shifts, and we called it the graveyard shifts. It was like 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the hostel reception. In Amsterdam, in the red light district, you saw some shit at that shift.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But it was fun, and then I would cover wherever I could cover, and then slowly I got into the bar.
Okay.
And I just loved it. I love the hospitality aspect of it. I love the people. And I just also realized, I was like, as long as I speak English, there's an English-speaking bar in every city in the world. There's an Irish pub, there's a whatever for expats, wherever you go, so I can travel with this.
And when did you switch from just working at bars to getting really into cocktail bars?
Well, I worked like dive bars and high-volume places for like 5 years, and I had never even made a single cocktail. And I thought... high on my horse, I was like, well, I've learned everything there is about this industry. And then I moved to Norway, where I started first working as a barista because I was like, well, I've learned everything about bars, so I'll look into coffee. And then the place where I was working as a barista, they were also, same company opened up Schmuck.
Okay.
Which is still until today one of the world's best bars.
Yep.
Great venue. And so I got to be a part of the opening team there. And that was just my introduction. And up until that point, I didn't know there was such a thing as the industry. Or that people gathered, seminars, pop-ups. I had no idea people gathered like that. And so that introduced me to everything, to the whole scene, to everything that was happening. And so... it was just like I had just been on the tutorial level of the video game the entire time, thinking it was the entire game. And then I was like, oh no, there's a whole different game here. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that happened.
So we obviously can't tell the story of the current Schmuck without another Schmuck that people know of from Barcelona. So can you tell me both how that bar came to be and how the two of you met?
Yeah, so in that barista job that I did in Norway, I met a really, really good friend of mine. His name is AJ, and we were roommates in Norway.
Okay.
And so after a year or so in Norway, I moved to Barcelona. And,
was Barcelona just because people were moving there? Like it felt like a good spot?
I had a friend who had set up this Airbnb, and I helped him, and I was like, I can do this.
Okay.
And so I was like, cool. So we set up I just did the Bacardi Legacy competition.
Okay.
So I had a little bit of like, oh, okay, cool. I got to know some contacts and so on, some people in the industry. And we didn't like Norway, and so it was like, all right, let's go to Barcelona. We had some money and like maybe set up an Airbnb like this.
Okay.
And then we can live off that while we figure out what we want to do. And we were like in our mid-20s, like 25. And then, we did these pop-ups called Two Schmucks. And it was only because it was like, what are we going to call it? It's two of us. And it's just Two Schmucks, just us two, And we finally found a location. And there was like so little money for nothing. It was very like DIY. It was like, we just kept the old bar as it is. And we just did a few things like, all right, we can do great service and great cocktails, but there was water leaking and the electricity would go in and out. And it was a really old kind of shitty dive bar. And for the first 6 months, we couldn't afford anyone to work for us.
So it was just the two of you?
So it was just the two of us. So we said, let's keep Two Schmucks. And so we were like, we just kept the name and then we were like, and then we'll have money and we'll renovate it and we'll change it and then we'll change the name. But by then we had gotten some articles, there was some buzz around the bar, and we were like, okay, we can't change the name now. It's got to be this name,
Yeah.
We gotta stick with it. And we just we worked on that slowly up until like making some money, making the bar a bit better, making some money, making the bar a bit better. Although we finally like closed it, renovated it, and made it into the bar we wanted to. And that was right by end of 2019, beginning of 2020, before the pandemic. And Juliette joined our team as a bar manager then as well.
And Juliette, had you been aware of the bar? Is that like you decided you wanted to also come from Paris to Barcelona, or were you already in Barcelona?
No, I was in Paris still. We met with Moe when he did a guest bartending in Syndicat.
Okay.
So they came, do a guest. So we met at this time. And I knew about his bar. It was like a lot of talk about it. And I was managing Syndicat this time since like a long time.
Yep.
So I was like kind of tired of it.
Yep.
And he messaged me on Facebook back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, during like the renovations, I was like, we need some people you want to join. And I was like, no, because I need to stay until we all good with Syndicat, but I can come in 6 months. And 6 months was January 2020, so it was good.
Yeah.
And and so I moved at this time. But I came in Barcelona just to meet him and to see the bar because I never seen it before. But I knew everything that happened, and I really liked And I knew I didn't want to be in Paris anymore. So it was perfect to have this support. It came just in time.
Yeah.
And and I moved. And after we closed, like
Right, COVID.
And the cool thing as well is that I was for sure convinced that Juliette was going to leave when the pandemic happened. But she stayed, which was pretty cool. And there was a bunch of the people from the team that stayed as well. So that was pretty nice. We were a pretty small team.
You're small.
We were like, maybe 7 people.
Okay.
Yeah, this time it was
very, very tiny team. But like, it was pretty nice. We were selling a lot of clothing over the pandemic. So we made like a little workshop in the bar. Like you're like folding and you're packing and you're doing labels and so on.
Yeah.
And then we used that money to help fund a little bit of the staff and so on.
Wow.
So it was pretty nice.
So then at a later date, you split off from the bar?
Well, so after the pandemic, throughout the pandemic, my business partner, AJ, left. It was a great time to take these big decisions. You know, like if you want to leave the industry, now's the time.
Right.
And we spoke about it. He was leaving. And I felt that maybe I wanted to leave as well. But then our other partner, he was like, well, I got these guys with a lot of money and they want to invest and do a bunch of more places. And so the choice was leave or take the money and open a couple more places.
Right.
And so we decided, we did that. And so we opened 2 more places in the following year, one in 2020 and one in 2021. And Juliette was helping managing and leading the program. Making sure that all the menus are so on. And everything, by the way, was like, all the 3 bars were on the same street in the size of like one New York block.
Wow, okay.
So they were all on the same street together. It was Two Schmucks, Lucky Schmuck, and Fat Schmuck. And it was like one that was a bit more of a day and night with coffee kind of concept, the main cocktail bar, and more like a dive bar with a karaoke room inside of it, kind of fun place.
Okay.
But we kind of zig and zag pretty well. I think I come from high volume, 200 to 300 people bars where you just gotta do as many drinks as possible. And Juliette comes from fine dining and kitchens where it's a little bit more like, it's more of an ID and it's a bit more of a cool, great ID behind maybe a drink. And so I feel, at least from my side, that it's like Juliette will come with a really cool ID for a drink and I'll be like, how do we make 300 of these a night?
Yeah.
Or things like that. I think we always like worked really well with each other. And so when we weren't getting along with the guys in Barcelona, we decided, all right, we're leaving.
Yep.
We didn't get like a good way to finish it in Barcelona. So we did this Miami residency with a bunch of people from the original team.
Okay.
And that was kind of like a nice little like, all right, let's do this residency and kind of have a good time. And it's kind of like a good closer. Like,
Where was the residency in Miami?
It was in a hotel.
Okay.
In South Beach.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so we did a residency and I knew Dan from Barcelona, our third partner, Dan Bink. And we got to know each other a bit better.
He's based in Miami, yeah?
He's based in Miami, yeah. And we got to know each other a bit better in Miami. He wanted to open a place in New York even before the pandemic. They actually signed a lease in February of 2020.
Wow, okay.
And then he got out of it on like a good guy clause, So he was able to get out of it. But he's wanted to open a place in New York forever. And we very much levitated towards New York. It's the closest thing to Europe that we feel in the US. And I love compact cities, for example. Like I lived in Amsterdam and Barcelona. I love walking cities. We came to New York and we're going around and we were like, it was important that we both really love the city.
Yeah.
I also believe that it's like a part of like, you really gotta love the place where you open a bar. Because you can't like be like, I don't like the city that much, but it's a cool opportunity.
Yeah, but it's good for business or things like that.
Because at one point or another, your energy is gonna run out. And if your city doesn't give you more energy, then you're like screwed a little bit. But yeah, he wanted to open it and we were like, we came here and we just started, we were like, all right, let's start looking.
Okay. So, I mean, it weirdly feels now. Did you always know you were going to keep the name? That it was going to be Schmuck?
No. As a matter of fact, when we came to New York, we didn't even know if it was still going to be Schmuck. And we had that conversation and
I didn't want to keep the name at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it was really like linked to past stuff.
Yeah.
But Dan liked the brand, and it was like an old brand as well.
And it's like me and Dan.
It's also a very New York brand, which is why I like it's like it's the most New York word basically possible.
Yeah. So the two things were like me and Dan. When I first met Dan in Barcelona, we bonded over like. He was like, growing up, that's what my dad called me all the time.
Yep.
And Dan's old man is also a schmuck. He's a very fun guy. But he's also like, he used to call me that all the time growing up. And we got to know each other over him telling me that when he came to my bar in Barcelona. And he felt, and I agreed, he was like, there should be a schmuck in New York. Like there should be, a schmuck in New York. And we can do it because of the background and our thing to it. But we also decided we wanted to keep it a lot more minimal. We wanted to change our approach on the branding a little bit. Okay. And we also, we love to work in all these different creative branches as well, whether it's with clothing or with media or with collaborations with different artists. And we wanted to have something that would be a little bit fluid with that, to be like, something that's maybe just one word where we're like, all right, and if we want to reach out this branch within this field, we would be able to work with it easily without it being so tightly linked to like a bar or a space, So it's just Schmuck.
I love it.
So we can just like put that on anything. And we have our bar as like our base, and the place that we take care of.
So talk to me about, you decide you want to come to New York. Did you already know what neighborhood you wanted to be in, or how did you start looking for spaces and deciding where you would ultimately land the bar? Yeah,
we like immediately. Yeah, it was East Village. We told them we want only this. Like we want to see bars only in into East Village. Like
yeah.
nothing.
It was like
nothing
East Village, Lower East Side as well.
Lower
like
East Side.
Orchard Street.
Yeah, we was like
Okay.
like until Lower East Side.
Yeah.
It's always like neighborhoods that look like you. It's the most important, I think, as well to open. And where Syndicat was, it was 10 district in Paris, which is like kind of the East Village for sure.
Yeah.
The Raval in Barcelona, it's like a little bit more roughy. But I mean the 10 district as well.
Yeah.
But like the vibe of like creative people in young kind of situation, like coming to a neighborhood, and like East Village for us was like this also like all the fact that New York is a walkable city, and like we are surrounded by amazing other cocktail bar, make like this place like a destination, because it's not like going to a restaurant, it's going to a bar, so you can go to several bars and have like a whole like bar crawl thing going on, and being part of like a good neighborhood with a lot of bar, it's really nice. And like people think, oh, you have a lot of what is the word when you're like
competition?
But it's when it's about cocktail bar, it's in fact the opposite. Like more you have cocktail bar around, more people come as like, if I want a cocktail, I come to East Village. Now I'm in East Village. Do I gonna go to Super Bueno? Do I gonna go to Bar Snack? Do I gonna go to Lost Paradise?
Lost.
Paradise Lost Story. I'm always like...
there's that. I mean, there's like so many places, and I think there's this beautiful new wave of like, you know, East Village was like home of some of the great cocktail bars that started like a big movement.
Like the OGs, basically.
PDT, Amari Margo. And then standing on top of their shoulders, I feel like there's this new wave of these great new bars, like Paradise Lost, Bar Snack, Schmuck, Super Bueno. But those places are still there, PDT, Detenco, Amari Margo. And so it's like, for me, when I want to go out, it's like, drop me off in the neighborhood and I want to zigzag.
Yep.
You know, and I want to go to 4 or 5 places. And I think, agree with Juliette, and like the fact, like, you'll go to one restaurant a night, but it's like, you want to maybe hit a couple of bars a night. And it's really nice, I feel, when you don't have to take Ubers between the bars. When you can just like, let's just walk over there, and we walk and we have one drink, and we walk maybe a small plate and another drink, small plate and another drink. I love those kind of nights, and I think so. It was nice for us to be a part in like one of those neighborhoods.
So, obviously, knew you wanted to be in the East Village. I think what's very interesting is that when I heard the space you were taking, it was really interesting. I knew the space, so I lived in the East Village for 12 years.
Oh, nice.
On 3rd between A and B, like the best neighborhood.
Wait, 3rd between A and B? Oh, they're like by between 3rd and 4th on B.
Yes.
46.
It's the best.
I should not say my name.
No, that the laundromat. That was my laundromat on the Quick Coin. It's like they were the best. But there's a thing in New York. I don't know if this was the case too in Paris and in Barcelona, of like cursed spaces. And Kindred had been there. They had taken the space. But the thing that's I think interesting is that Double Chicken Please also went into a cursed space. Right? And both of you kind of
Super
made
Bueno
it,
as well.
and Super Bueno's sort of a cursed-ish space, right? Spaces that people were not able to make work in different ways. Did you know that when you were renting the space? Did anyone say to you, this space had weird stuff? I think it had like a burrito Indian combo restaurant before.
I mean, we knew it was a weird, like, I mean, when they told us what it was before, we was like, okay, the thing is like, it's really big.
Huge.
So immediately you have to think about, you have to fill a really big room, and then it's already like a lot more work than having a smaller space that you can. So I think this is why places become cursed as well. Same when I think about like the space of Double Chicken Please. It's one window, really big. You have to work a lot to think about your place way more than like a small cute place with like already. But cursed place in New York, it's way more, because in New York it's so hard. Like places are like coming and going like so much more than in Paris and Barcelona for sure. But in Barcelona you have like crazy. Sometimes people open stuff. You're like, come on, like what? Like a marshmallow restaurant or stuff like that.
I think to Dan's credit, he we were walking around looking at places. We maybe saw 15 places in one day.
Yep. Okay.
At the end, we saw 2 places that we really liked. They didn't work out because of license and where they were and liquor license and so on. But we saw this place at the end of the day, and we were very tired, and it was full of junk.
I've
we
been
couldn't go down in the basement because it was full of sewage water.
Yep.
There was an illegal kitchen downstairs because it used to be one big Indian restaurant, and then he rented out half the space to a Peruvian restaurant. So they had one legal kitchen, one illegal kitchen. They got shut down by the health department, I think, in 2019. We found out later. But Dan walked into a space, and he was like, "This can be amazing." We didn't see it then. We were like, "Okay, that's cool," but like we've looked at these other places that we like, and I know we're not like seeing this, and then. Over the next 2-3 weeks, the other places fell through.
Okay.
Didn't work out. We found out. There was frustration. We were like, it feels like we're on square one again.
Yeah.
And so I called the guy. Dan and Juliette were out of town. And I called the guy and I was like, can I see that place again? And this time when I walked in, they'd taken out all the junk. They take out all the sewage water. There was a bunch of drywall, kind of fake walls that they just tore down. So the space was completely open. And I remember walking in thinking like, holy shit, like that was right. This can be something incredible. And I immediately called Juliette and we did like a video call and I was like showing her and I was like, I think this can be super cool. And we knew that, I mean, every surface of this place is going to have to be remade.
Yeah.
But we were like,
even more.
There was a lot of people that we knew, GN and Double Chicken included, that looked at that place, and decided, and other operators as well that we know that looked at the place and was like, nah, it's too much, or it's too much work, or it's not for us. And that also depends on the concept you're trying to do, you know? But we knew that, like, all right, but if we do all the work, it will be this great, big, nice corner place that will be like such a home place. And I know, I think for me, a corner place has always been like, I always love to have like a great corner place. You know, I don't know what it is, but I mean, like it is just something I think is like this romantic bar dream of like a great corner bar. And so we were like, that could be amazing. We worked hard actually because the entrance was on the avenue or on the street side, but we worked hard to make a corner entry to make sure that it was, for example.
We had to redo the whole thing, like the floor, everything, the plumber, like this is huge for like most of the people. Also, thanks to Dan, that allowed us to like think big kind of situation because when we came here, we didn't have any of the contact to. Like, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time to take. And Dan was like, we're going to do it together, which was like, but like we had to destroy all the wall outside and rebuild like even the...
In the building.
Yeah, in the building. We have to like brick by brick, we have to rebuild like the building stuff.
It was like 6-7 months where we didn't have walls.
It was
just open.
It was open during winter. It was crazy.
Oh, winter,
Yeah, there was no plumbery, no electricity. Yeah. So also like, this place was not taken for the wildest time because if you want to reopen this place, you had to redo everything. So I guess some people try to do stuff without redoing everything and it worked not good for them. But like it was like really, I will not want to repass by this whole process. Now I'm really proud. And I'm just so happy that we did it, but I will not redo it.
Yeah, so I think it's like with some places. So I think, for example, like with Super Bueno taking over, it was Golden Cadillac before.
Yes, and then before that it was Boilermaker.
But it's like you have great bones. You got the plumbing and the electrical. Yeah. Most likely you got speaker wiring already going. You got HVAC already installed to keep the place cold. All of these things are the ones that I like the most. Like HVAC has its own mechanical permit. Plumbing has its own permit. You got to work with Con Ed getting them out. It's
the worst.
Just insane.
So bad, yeah.
And so all of these things are the ones that are like, this is what, when people say it's hard to open a bar in New York, that's where the difficulty is. It's in the permit and bureaucracy and the delays And I mean, at the same time, you got landlords and you got rent.
Well, so yeah,
and
what was the landlord like through all this? I mean,
we love our landlord. They're really, really nice. Shout out to Mattel.
But he was happy that we was making something cute out of this like place that was like a swamp when we came because it was closed since like, so it was kind of like there was like helpful throughout the thing. Yeah. Sometimes they came and they were like, oh, I think you really need like this extremely expensive anti-fire thing, and we're like, no, I think it's not. It's like, no, I think we need this, and I'm like, no, we don't gonna pay for this. Sorry, we're gonna put normal one.
But it's like they would work with us a lot. So you know, most deals you set up with landlords, you get X amount of free months. In exchange, it's like, hey, we're gonna invest into your building that you own. You know, so we're gonna make your building nicer, which will raise the value for you. So we understand this little exchange of value. Right. You let us do our IDs in your building, and your building will be nicer, and so on. But it's also like something that was delayed because of such and such, because of facade work. They would be like, it's fine, we'll throw an extra free month on it.
Wow. Okay.
And so we started with X amount of free months, and then they added a couple of more because of different obstacles. That was like not our fault, maybe, or it was a part of the building or whatever. But they would be very easygoing. They wouldn't be like, well, this is what we signed on black and white, so no. Which I know that some landlords do. You know, but they were actually, you're right. This isn't on you guys. It's all right. We'll give you guys one extra month. And they saw as well that we were there every day working on it. And now that we finished, that it's done, we have a great relationship with them, because I think everyone goes to a landlord and is like, we're going to make your place amazing. They hear that a lot.
All the time.
And a lot of times it's like just a new coat of paint. It's like, but we actually did all new plumbing and electrical and all that stuff and really made it nice. And so now they have a lot of faith in us, and it's a nice relationship. I think it's one of the more important relationships you can have as a bar owner to your landlord. Because if it's sour from the beginning, it's like maybe reconsider, because that's like, then you become popular and it becomes really good and you get issues with the landlord, and that's going to be the most bitter pill to swallow.
Right, totally.
You know, that like you lost a place because your landlord doubled the rent because you guys are not getting along, and he's like, well, screw you.
But I feel like this is in New York is like a danger that doesn't exist elsewhere, at least in Europe, because in Europe you get really protected against your landlord. So they can't double the rent. It's impossible. They can push you out.
Yeah, it's like 10% maximum.
No, even way less. You can't
Barcelona
move.
was 10%.
Yeah. In Paris, like if you have a good deal from the beginning,
that's it.
They're locked with you forever as well. So it's like, this is why as well so many good places in New York close, I feel like, because the landlord is switching on them and like doing something crazy to them, and they have to leave. And why in Paris you have like small bars that are here since like
what was that place in Greenpoint on the corner by Little Rascal?
It's a dive bar. Is that closed?
It's like a fun dive bar. Every time I walked by, it's packed with people. And I remember reading that they were closing, and they were just like, I read into the article, and I think he was saying that their landlord just doubled their price. And it's probably because someone else with a fancy shop came and offered them some money, and then they were like, all right, we'll do it. They'll leave. These other guys come in.
It's really scary.
And they'll put money in and like redo our building. But I think from the get-go, it's incredibly important to have find a good landlord, because as important as the venue is, the relationship to the landlord is.
Totally.
I think.
You know, Toby Caccini, who owns Long Island Bar, had told me several times he will never celebrate an anniversary for his bar, because he's lost a bar before in New York when he had one in meatpacking because his landlord pulled the lease and claimed they were going to tear down the building for development, got them out of the lease and never tore down the building. So he's like, I have great landlords now. They're amazing, but I've lost a bar before. So I'm not going to celebrate. I'm not going to celebrate the milestones, because I can't guarantee that we'll be here for 20 more years, 30 more years, because you just like, you never know.
When you follow Eater magazine and you see like, oh, this place closed, and you're like, what? It was like one of the like most talk about place, and you're like, oh, this place closed. It's been 25 years it's open. You're like, this is like, it scared me a lot as like
as a business owner. It's like
terrifying.
And it's sad as well, because you don't like, you have a lot of institution, but like you feel like one day like is not valued as much as like it should. Like there is like restaurants that part of history of a city.
Yeah.
And like by doing this, you're killing a little bit of soul of your city. And this is why in Paris you have in Barcelona less, because it's more like but like in Paris you have so many like institutional plays that will be like there forever, and like like you come back and they're still here, and it's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
So the space is big. When did you decide that there would be two concepts? Right. So for those who've not been to Schmuck before, right, you come in through the corner and you enter the main bar, but then if you kind of come around this corner, there's a second bar.
Yeah.
Right. When did you guys decide that that was going to be a thing you were going to do?
Can I start on it?
Yeah, sure.
When we was visiting, Mo was into two rooms, and I was extremely scared of it because I saw a lot of people failing on the two rooms, meaning like you go to a really good bar and then the second room is kind of like an extension or something that work a little bit less good. We even like we're gonna take a double chicken, please. We take a lot of example from him, but like they redo the first room. They have like two rooms, right? And he was like, there's so many traps you can fall in, and like he was like even telling. Yeah, he
gave us the best advice, and he was like, GN was helping us so much throughout the opening process, and he was saying a lot that he was like, just like think about having separate entrances, because at one point we weren't going to do a separate entrance, but thank God he got us to do a separate entrance, you know? And he was like, think about making them equally amazing and almost competitive to each other. Or on any given night, it's like that's the room where you want to be in tonight, and think about making them kind of like think about it like that.
Okay.
And so,
but But all this is a concept in your head, and you're like, oh yeah, like little like tiny bar, we call it kitchen, gonna be like a party place, and big bar gonna be more loungy and stuff. But like when you think about it, and you don't know yet, when people are inside, it's really, really scary as a thought. Like maybe people are gonna enter and be like, no, I hate this place, or no, like we don't know, oh, New York people party, we don't know. So it was like a really scary thing. But I think Mo wanted it a lot, and I fall into it as well, because having two concepts, like two rooms, it's kind of also cool when you have too many ideas and you can like put them together.
Yeah, for me, the core, I think, of what I wanted, because I remember telling Juliette, and I was like, after doing 3 places in Barcelona, I was like, I never want to do multiple places again. And it was like, let's make sure we have a big place that will like, because what happens is a lot of people get a bar with 40, 50 seats, they get popular, there's a line around the corner, and then they look at each other and they're like, let's get another place. Let's do another venue. And what that adds multiple places rather than one big place. What that adds to logistics, production, brand work, that takes away from creative is significant. It's so big. And we realized that through Barcelona. And so I was like, I would much rather have one brand, one bar under one roof, and just make sure that we can just spread out a little bit more, and that we like over the next 5 years we will still slowly grow into it, you know, and kind of slowly work on it. And so for me, from what I learned from like Scandinavia, was that when you do so in Scandinavia, your bar is like at 20% capacity until the weekend, and then the weekend is at 200% capacity. You know, and that's just the drinking culture. So the way that people build bars, the way that Heemcock built bars, which is a fantastic design, is that you have a tiny front room, but that can hold 40, 50 people, but you can open it up to hold a couple of hundred, because when the weekend comes, you need to make your money, but you don't want to kill the atmosphere throughout the week with having a room that can fit 300 people.
Right.
So from a design point of view, it was like you need to add and subtract these spaces to your one big space, and you need to be able to kind of like open it up and close it down as the people are going into it. And I always had that in my mind, and so for me it made sense to be like, two rooms is great.
Yeah.
To be able to kind of do it.
Yeah.
Creatively, it was is also fun, and I think as well to be able to like part of the idea that we had was that if we were going to work with people or do collaborations as well or do anything like that, we would be able to utilize the space with its own separate entry where people can come and go without bothering another room with its own entry.
Yeah.
But also, I think as well, like Two Schmucks, Syndicat was like party place, and what we was doing with like the big room in Schmuck was a little bit more serious, and like from like our background and what we like as well, it was like kind of giving up on something we love, which is like loud and dark bar with like people like shoulder to shoulder and stuff like this. This stuff is not possible maybe in the... So like I was attached to this as well, like being able to have like a louder with the bartenders that have like a lot of fun dancing behind the bar because in fact is like so many tickets and stuff, and it's like I wanted this but I was not sure it's gonna work. But I feel like especially during weekend, Tiny Bar become this like this like high energy bar that look like us as well in the same time of like Big Bar is this like more loungy, and we do like our concoction and cocktail like weird stuff where you get like a really expensive glassware and stuff like this, and Tiny Bar is more like like party nightlife side of us that we did, like I didn't want to give it up at least, and so it's a nice balance as well in our concept of
I think it's like both places, because we kind of set out to be like, well, it should be a reflection of who we are. And I think both places is a little bit of us, of like, we wanted to do the really nice cocktails in a nice setting, like Juliette said. And we wanted to be able to use this glassware. And if you have people standing shoulder to shoulder, you're going to break everything. And they're like, $30 a glass or whatever, whatever it is, And so you're like, we won't be able to do that. But we're still, we still have a part of us that enjoys those places that are a little bit more hectic and crazy and so on. And so it was like, great. And this also created that relationship between the two bars, where on any given night, it's like sometimes I'll walk up to the bar and I'll see a line coming from Tiny Bar
and
that goes past the corner of Big Bar, because everyone's trying to get in there, because it just looks like a fun time, and they're just kind of like, we got the garage window open usually, and it just looked like a nice fun time for them. And so it kind of, I feel that we slowly getting into the place where we're getting them to harmonize with each other, the two different rooms. And it's constantly
I feel like it worked pretty well since the beginning. Like immediately people was like, I start in Big Bar, I go to Tiny after to get like a last drink, and it was like kind of like...
Or people who start in the Tiny Bar that go to Big Bar afterwards. And I think it's like we constantly are thinking of like, all right, how do we up it here a little bit? How do we up it here a little bit? How do we up it here a little bit between as well with the rooms? And every now and again, we have a time where we kind of focus on cool things for this bar, and then cool things for this room, cool things for this room. And that's also creatively challenging in a great way. That's very like, this is something that's beautiful to work on.
So I read an interview with you both where you talked about how you wanted to bring like a European style of service to the New York bar scene and European style cocktails. So talk to me about sort of what that means to you, and what do you think defines your cocktails, and how did you think about the cocktails that you were going to make that was going to be different than all of the other bars in the East Village?
It's like so I always explain it like this because I think this is what happened. It's like beside in London, like the cocktail culture in Europe doesn't exist. It didn't exist before. I mean, like super like geeky people would be like, no, we had aperitif style in France, but like in fact, when you grow up in France, you don't get cocktail beside like Smurf shots and like mojito, but like it's like not at all what we drink. We drink wine. When you're an adult, you drink wine or beer. And the cocktail came approximately 10 years ago. A little bit, there is like some bars that start before, of course, but like it was mostly for American tourists and stuff. And because we didn't have the base of knowing what is a cocktail and like not drinking, we didn't drink strong liquor, no martini, no old fashioned. Beside, like, once again, you always can find like one French guy that drink only old fashioned, but it was not a thing at all compared to America, at least. Like when we start cocktail in France, like street bar at least, it was like crazy shit. Like people was like immediately taking what we know, which is gastronomy, and putting it in the cocktail. So if you go to Danico is a really good example, or even like Comba or even Syndicat back in still now, it was like a lot of food technique, more low ABV drinks, and like more like thinking about what kind of flavor we want to put, like not starting from a classic and twist it, but starting from an idea and make a cocktail out of it. And so, in my opinion, but like there is not social writing about it, at least like Mediterranean country cocktail culture of Europe is taking our culture and make it liquid, let's say, which is gastronomic. And we don't have the classic twist stuff, which is like super interesting as well. But like, it's just not what we know how to do. So like, this is for me what we bring, and this is like what is our program right now. And it also like, not because I prefer this kind of cocktail, is because it's a cocktail we know how to do, but let's say. So this is for the cocktail side.
Yeah. I think as well, like to Juliette's point, it's like when you don't get into, when you come up here with a very good school of what classic cocktails is and what's right and wrong. And then when you don't have that thing of what's right and wrong, it can go incredibly wrong. And it has with some culinary style cocktails coming out of Europe. But like the thing is also, no one tells you what's right and wrong. So the experimental stuff becomes a little bit more experimental. And you kind of go like, well, let's start with an idea and like get into a drink. In terms of the service, so here's how it is in Europe. There's no tips. Right. So the employers have to just pay everyone. And if you want to, it's usually the turnover isn't the best. And most of the people are a lot younger and a lot more inexperienced. And finding good people is incredibly hard. And so as an employer, you can hire less people because you have to pay them more compared to like how much you're making in revenue. And so in the great cocktail bars, like a Syndicat or when you're running Two Schmucks or some other cocktail bars, there wouldn't be like too many people working like in a great cocktail bar in the US. But it was just people that were like guns, like fast people who knows how to do all positions, who are like who are like a really great host at like a house party. It was like doing a little bit of the bar back, doing some cocktails, talking with some people. But that came out of the limitation of like, we can't have enough people, but we're here and we all love this thing and we love to do it. And so you get this atmosphere of like kind of this beautiful chaos where it's like, oh, people are just all over, but it's nice, it's cool, and you feel very at home and it's very hospitable. And when we came in, one of the things that I also understand in regards with how it works here and with the tipping system and so on, is that it was very like, I'm a bartender, I don't leave the bar. I'm a waiter, I don't go behind the bar. I'm a bar back, I work just here at this position.
I don't take orders, for example.
And so it's like one of the things that we wanted to do and that we worked on together with our team was also like, how do we do this in a way where we encourage people to kind of rotate everything and kind of cross-learn all these positions? And how do we make it a bit more fluid? How do we erase that border a little bit?
Right.
Between bartending and being on the floor and kind of all these different positions to make it, we say that like our bar now, Schmuck, is like a cocktail bar dressed as a house party with a heavy focus on design, and And that house party part of it is that, we want everyone to feel like they're just hosting people at their place. And I think in regards to like the service, we're trying to make sure that it is a little bit, we're still working on it, by the way, and we're still working hard on it, because in the beginning we had to start with like proper positions and like, all right, you're doing bar backing, you're doing bartending, because we have to learn and perfect these positions. We've only been open 8 months. And slowly we feel that as we have more experienced people, we get into a place where it gets a little bit more fluid. And we like that a lot more. But I also understand that some places are very strict and require to have like, the bartender has to be the bartender and the waiter has to be the waiter.
But also what we try to input is like the problem of the hosts, for example, is a problem of everyone. If like a bartender need glasses and like the barback is doing something else, the server can go to take the glasses. Because like the whole team situation can be lost in some way, especially if you have just one shift a week in this bar. So like you don't know these people, like you're doing your job, you're leaving. And it's like really understandable. And also like the exchange of money versus work in America is way bigger than in Europe. Like it's like, I come to do my job, I'm leaving. And like, I understand as well, but we're trying to break this and to be like, everybody have to know each other. Everybody have to care about like what's up in the other part of a bar. And all this was like maybe our like also a huge focus on like, okay, so if like you have time, you go to help the person that is outside to to break down the terrace because like it's your team and like no, it's not your job because your position is inside. But right now, and like this is what happened right now. It's pretty beautiful to see.
Or like if the bar back is just in the weeds and there's a tray full of glasses and you're a bartender you'll take it back to the back of house to get clean or what. Just like you do the little extra thing where you look over your teammates and you look at the different positions, not like ones and zeros.
Right, like that's their job, not my job.
The bar back's supposed to do that, and I'm supposed to do this, and they're supposed to do that, and that's what we're trying to be like. We didn't like that, but we feel that because of the limitations of the European way, there was a couple of beautiful and nice things that came out of that, and so that's what we tried to bring over and kind of put in here within the culture of the team. And as we do, some nice things like every day before we start work, we all sit down for 20 minutes and we have family meal. And this is a very important, like sometimes it's been very loose, but we try to be like, doesn't matter, everyone just stop. We're sitting down and eating and we talk about shit like, what movie did you watch? Like, how was your days? Or someone has, whatever, a new haircut. It was just joking around. But it's just that little moment of everyone sitting with each other and just being like, just taking that little moment and just shooting shits and getting to know each other. We actually made a video about it the other day. We call it the hang. Yeah. Just like having a little bit of hang before we go into a super stressful environment, because when you're in there and you got your adrenaline and you're super stressful and you look at the people around you, and it feels like you know them a little bit. And so you're like, you know these people, you work with them, you're with each other, you help them out. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about the design because the design is really crazy, but I want to talk about one thing specifically in the bar. You have a table up on your elevated area that's filled with fortune cookies. Yeah. Did you think people were going to steal the fortune cookies out of the table? Because I've seen it happen multiple times when I've been at your bar.
We kind of figured.
It's part of our opening list. Refill the fortune cookie table.
I've seen someone just like literally take the top off and stick their hand in.
Sometimes like it's all good. They can do it. Like even our staff is like taking it to give it to the guests when they are watching it and stuff. But like sometimes they do it when people are drinking, and like it's like basically to open it, you have to open the top of the table. I saw people taking it up, and like the guy that was drinking on this table was like, "My martini is gonna fall!" Like it was crazy. Yeah. But I was like, it's all good.
Or it's like sometimes you have someone who's had a couple or too many, and they're like, they take out 2 hands full, and it's like, come on, dude. We just want this to be easy going, nice thing. It's like, take a fortune cookie if you want to take a fortune cookie. But then you see someone like, I took all of them. You're like,
so
come on,
good.
dude. But yeah, we knew it was going to be like, we were like, oh yeah, it'll be fun. We just don't say anything about it, whether they can take it or not.
Yeah.
We'll just leave them there. And if they take it, they take it.
Did you work with an interior designer, or is the design your entire concept?
So all of the interior design is, we like to think that we're now a design team.
Cool.
It's myself, Juliette, with our design partners, Arash and Polly.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on them. I think the next step is that they're looking at maybe doing something in New York. They're doing some cool places right now in Berlin. We're incredibly good friends. We were just at their wedding a month ago. When we're in Berlin, we sleep on their couch.
Okay.
It's like we're very, very close. And we asked them for their help because we love their apartment. We love their eye. We love their design. And Arash, he's also a great chef.
But they are not interior designers. It's just like when we are in the apartment, we're like, it's the most beautiful apartment.
Yeah, they're just great designers in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Polly, she has a really cool clothing brand, a fashion brand. And we knew what we liked.
Yep.
And so we just asked them, we were like, do you guys want to do this with us? And so we just worked together on it, all of us, and they came with a lot of incredible kind of additions, and they helped us source a lot of the vintage designer pieces from Berlin, which...
Oh, they're from Berlin.
Yeah. Which,
everything from Europe. Every vintage
like what
piece.
we saved on one... So we got 4 of the Dieter Rams couches, for example.
No, 3.
4. Well, one is in my room.
No, we have 2. No, 1, 2, 3 is a double.
Oh, 3. 1 double and 2 singles.
Okay.
Yeah. What we saved on one of them compared to the prices in the US paid for the entire shipping container to bring over like 7 couches, 20 bar stools, the majority of the lamps, everything else that we brought from Berlin. The Bruno Ray bar stools we brought from there as well. They're also like 3 times the price in Berlin. Or the original Togo couches, they were from Berlin. And then we have a bunch of original lights like Pyle and Putzler, which is the mushroom lights that we love, and the scones that are on the wall. And a bunch of other really, really beautiful pieces. The table for the fortune cookies is also from Berlin that we found.
This was an idea from Arash and Polly, for example.
Yeah.
Well, so like we knew we had the cave, like the elevated area on the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we knew we needed like cool tree table, but we have a WhatsApp group named Design Team.
Yeah.
Schmuck Design Team. Or like I don't remember even. Design Team is 4 of us, and we just send picture of stuff, and like when everybody is okay, it's like okay, we take this one, and like
we get this from like Marketplace or like from like wherever. We found a really cool Pierre Cardin, like, which is I think a fashion brand. He made this single stainless steel table that we now have. Found out like on Marketplace. And the Riverstone table as well, we found through there as well. And then different lights and different designs. Some of it we got from here, but a lot we got from Berlin through their help, because they were the ones who were helping us source it in Berlin. And then they put it in a container and helped send it over.
That's amazing.
And so it's like, so now their restaurant, we consider our sister restaurant. And the idea, hopefully, is that they'll be coming over in the next year or so, and maybe getting a spot over here, which we'd love, and we would work very, very closely with them on that as well. And if anything, is like, yes, I would never want to do another location, but I was like, yes, you guys should come here and open this, and we'll work together. But it'll be your place, and you guys do it, but we'll help you guys, because now we've learned about all the licensing and contractors, and we got our own plumber guy and we got our electric guy, and they're all solid. So it's like, this is the shit that was hard in the beginning.
The electric guy is insane though, but
the electric guy is insane. He's this Albanian dude from Queens. But, he's fun. He can't go to Home Depot anymore because he got banned from Home Depot.
That's amazing.
I was like, oh, can you get this on Home Depot? And you weigh in. He's like, no, I'm not allowed to go there.
That's so good. you take fashion very seriously as well, and the team is dressed incredibly well. How did that sort of come about? Was that just also from both of your backgrounds, like being really into fashion? And how did the partnership happen?
Same. So like there is a lot coming from. So like the first thing we were thinking with Moe is like uniform can be really restrictive,
yes.
especially when you want your team to be themselves the most. And when people was trying to put me in a uniform, I was like, I hate this. Like, I don't want this at all. It's really like, most likely, it's also come from a place of like, a lot of places have uniform made to make male worker beautiful, but when the female worker wears them, it looked like horrible. Like, I don't know if you notice this, but like, if you watch like really intense uniform, like in cocktail bar and in restaurants, most of the time it fits really well the guys and really badly the girls. And like this happened to me, for example, in Syndicat, we had like this French blue jacket that was really tailored for men. And like to me, I was I find this thing in the street, like honestly. And the guys was looking beautiful. So I was like, okay, so now how do we do because we knew it's gonna be a huge place, it's gonna be a big team, and we like can't ask them to have a fashion vision every day they wake up. So how do we make a uniform-ish thing without being restrictive, without putting bad clothing on like a body type that is not ours? Like, I don't know, like, I know my body type, I know it's really particular, and I don't gonna, if you have another body type, you don't want to wear my stupid crop top or stuff like this. So now, like, we know all this, we have to think about an idea. And we was like, let's do a multiple choice for them that are really easy to style, and that we find stylish as well. And now everybody gonna be themselves, and they're gonna have still a uniform. So in this big bar, you can see their stuff, and also like there is like a vision behind. And so the shirt, like the summer shirt, it's a pajama shirt. It's from Arash used it in his own restaurant. So it was like, it's so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after we wanted like the cropped dickies, we was like, it's a really cool cut. It's gonna fit. It's like a woman cut. It's like the cropped, but like it fit like male as well. If you and it gets you stylish immediately in a weird way because it's like fashionable to have cropped. So like this we think. And after same the pants, it's like you can wear them.
Based on some pants that I used to wear a lot.
Yeah.
Really?
I wore them so much, and I was like, I really love these pants. And then we were like, yeah, we should maybe look into these pants.
In work, high waist and low waist. So it's like really important if you want to fit everyone in the team as well. So all this came like in this mindset of like, you have to be stylish, you have to be, if you have already a style, you can style it your style. This is like the second thing you need. And you have to fit all, like, it's always impossible, of course, but the maximum body type that exists. And most likely the cut for women are way better because they fit the male and they fit the woman as well.
Yeah, that's actually true as well. That's been a thing that's been a lot easier.
The pajama, woman pajama.
And then also it's like, so now when they come in, you know, we prep, we get the bar ready, and we have our family meal, and then there's almost like
a
wardrobe style, clothing style, like rack with a bunch of stuff, and we take care of the cleaning. We clean everything, and we make sure it's good. We work with this really good local cleaners just a block away from us. So we do it like once a week. We got enough pieces, so it's just like, it just hangs on racks. And then you can just go like, the pants are in like 3-4 different colors. There's 2 different color crop tops. There's the big white service jacket. There's the pajama thing. And so you can just go like, I want to do the pajama shirt with the gray high waist double pleat pants. That's what I feel like today. Great.
That's cool.
Or if you feel very warm on that day, depending on where you're working. If you feel that you're a bit colder, maybe go with the thicker service jacket. So it's like, I think we mentioned it in the post we did about it, but it's like our aesthetic within what we think is beautiful within this clothing, but then they style it themselves however they want to and what pieces they want with what.
And we have a lot of stylish team members, so it's funny to see them like style it a different way. It's like it's really work because they own the thing, like they wear it like tucked in or like totally like or like tied up. I don't know. It's like super fun as well to see like how it became like yeah.
So you both obviously had and worked at other successful bars. When you first opened, obviously you were nervous. When did you say to yourselves that you were going to feel confident that the bar was successful? Have you gotten to that point yet?
No.
No, it's kind of like every month is still new to us.
Yeah.
We thought everyone was like August is the slowest month, but August we did the highest revenue.
And it was way
so it was like crazy.
Worst in September.
Yeah, and we thought September was gonna be crazy because that's typically East Village insane crazy month.
Yeah.
But it was less than August, so it was like opposite of what everyone told us. So every month is new right now, and we said at least for the first year, every month's gonna be brand new. We don't know what to expect. We're trying to be very adaptive with how we work with everything.
Yeah.
But generally, it's been great, and it's been great. There's been a lot of people coming. It's been nice,
But we know we have like we opened. We had this. We got lucky and got this amazing wave of article and hype. But like this go down at one point. So now instead of being scared of opening, we're scared of like not going down and like rethink like about what we're gonna do to keep like the place interesting.
But I think one of the best things we could have done is that we decided not to host or travel and do any events for the first year. Because it was like we're just like there just working on it. Just like dealing with it. The bottom line was like, I think when it got really, really busy and there was so many people, the bottom line was like, okay, cool. Let's not fuck this up, you know? And so it was very much like that. So it was like, we're just there watering the plants, literally and figuratively, just looking over it, making sure, at least for the first year, that we're not like, oh, we're going to do some guest bartenders, or we're going to go and travel away because it's very popular and everyone wants us to go and do a pop-up. And it's like, no, during the first year, we're just going to stay. We're just going to work on it. And we're just going to look at these details like the potatoes actually are a little bit, they're not as good as we want them. How can we, and that's a tiny bar snag. But we're still working on stuff like that from day to day, because we're still like, how can we just tiny incremental improvements so that by our first year anniversary, we'll look back at last January and we'll be like, almost like, I think when you look back after a year and you've worked for a full year of tiny little improvements, you're like, that's almost unrecognizable.
What does success look like to you for Schmuck in 5 years, 10 years? What will have happened that you will say like, damn, we were super successful?
If we still open already, if we survive New York difficulties.
For me,
go for it.
I think getting to the point where
it's a loaded question. I know that's a loaded question.
Just like getting to the point where it feels like it is one of those bars where it just becomes like this place where it's just like, oh, this place has been here forever. It's always nice. It's always people there, and it's always like just this bar that becomes like a part of the city, part of this corner. And I think that helps set us up for whatever we're trying to do in life, creatively or.
You said before it's like a lifestyle brand almost, right? So is that?
Yeah, I think it's more like, all right, well, if we set this up and it's good and it becomes like a place that's just great that we just take care of, then we can just kind of live off that, and it can also help fuel our other creative endeavors, whatever we have in life or whatever it is that we're trying to do. And I think for me, success is just getting to that place and that peace mentally as well, of not always being like, oh, we're in this. All right, we got to do this and we got to do this for the success of the bar. But I think after a while, the bar gets to a place where it's just kind of like, it becomes its own thing. It's no longer maybe about me and Juliette.
Yeah.
It becomes about the venue. and it doesn't become so much about like the chef or the main kind of bartender guys that opened it. And I think that.
I find that really interesting in your answer, because that's been said to me a lot by other chefs, owners, et cetera, that like the second that people come to your space and they're happy to be there and you're not there, so they don't they're not disappointed when one of you is not behind the bar, et cetera. They're still thrilled to be a schmuck, is success, especially in New York, because that also allows you to have breaks and travel and things like that, right? But that's a very hard thing to do.
And it means that this thing you created, if you look at it as this little baby, is now its own thing.
Yeah.
And it's surviving and thriving without you. And it's like you've created it, you created the space, you created the interiors, every surface of everything of this space, and everything that is created within the food and the drink and how we approach the service. And now the place is just on its feet running.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And you kind of go back like, that's amazing. And it also kind of earns you back a little bit, like you said, your freedom of like, oh, we can take this now and we can, do we want to work on something else? And
Cool.
Cool.
I feel like it is true. And also like our like kind of dream with Mo was like to do, it's already crazy that we are like already like I don't know if I gonna break, like next year we're gonna start to do, finally we have time to think about what we gonna do with the space, like for special days, and like invite some of like our friends that we think have like something super interesting to show, and like I'm excited to work with them in my own venue, and like now we are able to do this. We're gonna do like a project with Matchbook Distillery. So like
they're the best.
I love her so much. So like all this little stuff, like all my, when I was managing bar, I was always like, oh, I wish I could do this. I have time to do this. I have so many ideas. And now, because I have the bar and because I can like, not yet perfect, but like have more time for myself and for the idea, we use like already this place to do like fun new stuff. And like I feel like for the moment it's like what like the energy I have give me, and it's gonna be fun, like fun new years.
Yeah.
Like for the moment it feels like we still evolve out of our place, and it's really nice.
Yeah. It's amazing to like that as well, to open up creatively for these collaborations with people you admire or people you look up to, and have the freedom to have the time to initiate those and do it without thinking like, oh, we gotta run.
Once again, I feel like Gian like is a good example. I take a lot his example because I feel he have his bar that work really well, and now you know that in Tales the double chicken please event gonna be the most mind-blowing one, because it's of his idea, and now you have like the voice to do like this crazy balloon city or like this crazy picture thing. Have you been like, it was like black and white, and like I don't know, it's like, of course it's totally GN style stuff and Faye, but it will be like totally different, but like this is what we aspire as well to do, like our own like crazy stuff thanks to like the bar.
Using the bar as a base. Using the bar as our little flagship, as our little base, and then being like, oh, let's do this collaboration with this artist, or let's work on this project with these people, or let's go and do this. And I think both of us creatively love that. Love being engaged in those kind of activities, and having the time and having the backing and having a strong enough brand where people are now like just believing in it without you having to like prove yourself.
And the money as well. Which change a lot.
Money as well, which is,
you cannot invite like, your friend and be like, you're going to have money out of this. It's not anymore like, because, for example...
in Europe, it was very like...
Please.
Please come.
But do this, we don't have a lot of money. So do you want to do it or not?
But now it's like, oh yeah, like you're doing this crazy stuff. And I know like we are thinking about like some of my like really best friend from Europe that doing like crazy project as well. And like, I'm like, first you come in New York. Second, you're gonna do money out of this project. And third is gonna be like we can go super far, like not just like, oh, you're gonna do a masterclass or something. Like it's gonna be so fun. So like this is crazy good, and like we already can reach it. Like it's still like not super balanced yet. Still a lot of work, of course. But I can see now like the end of the the moment where I wake up and I have like, oh, like let's do this crazy cool thing. I don't need to do chocolate and fermentation today. It's cool. I mean, fermentation is fun though.
So we're gonna end with 3 questions that we ask everybody who's come on the show. First one: if you could only drink one cocktail at Schmuck, which cocktail would it be?
Bread with tomato. It's my cocktail, so it sounds like a dick, but like I really love this cocktail.
It's a great cocktail, bread with tomato.
Schmuck martini.
Schmuck martini. Okay. If you could open a bar anywhere in the world, money's not an object, someone would fund it, you could do whatever you wanted, where would you open the bar?
Excluding New York?
It can be New York.
New York.
Yeah, it's a good answer for both of you. It's too new to be like, we would have gone to Tokyo. That's a good answer. All right, and then finally, what's a piece of advice you would give someone that wants to open a bar?
I would.
Go for it.
Just pick great partners. Just everything else becomes easier. And I have the first-hand experience of going through the first round, not doing that. But just pick. I like everything out. Like with Juliette and Dan, for me, it was like this felt so much better, easier. The entire experience, everything of like dealing with contractors, and it was shitty, but I had Juliette and Dan there, felt better. Being like working 100-hour weeks, not sleeping a lot, and being super tired. Both times it happened, but having Juliette and Dan as a partner, it felt better. You know, so everything just felt slightly better with better partners.
It's great. Juliette?
I never have another bar, so I have no less experience. But I will say, don't compromise. When we opened Schmuck in New York, we had like a lot of trouble because of construction, and like we didn't have enough money to finish almost and stuff like this. And at this time you can tell yourself like, okay, let's not do this part because there is no money anymore. But most likely it comes from most culture of thing, and I took it and now it's amazing. And I think this is all you have an amazing place. It's like you're like, I don't have the money, whatever, I will use the money I don't have to don't compromise on my first idea, because once we open, like the first idea are gonna pay off. Like, and there was like a bunch of detail, and it's the same when you create a cocktail, being like, oh, it's like, it's too complicated. No, don't compromise, do it. Like you want a Ramos Gin Fizz on your menu, you can have it. It's gonna be more work, you have to find solution, but like don't do it because you think it's too much.
Yeah.
Always do what you think, find solution, work harder, and at one point it's gonna work out. But and then you achieve something that maybe like other didn't, and like this is what make your bar like more interesting. Almost, I will say this, and I feel like you can do it like when you create a cocktail, you can do it when you construct your bar, when you are like, when you see one member of your staff, you know, is not a right fit, but you're like, yeah, but I don't want to go to the process of having someone else. You have to go through this process. Don't compromise on anything, and like you will have like maybe like the bar that look like you the most, for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Juliette, Moe, thank you so much for joining me on the
That's so
Buildout.
nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is great.
It's
Thank
really
you.
cool. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And thank you guys, and to your editorial staff for bar program of the year. That's amazing. We're celebrating with the team. We're celebrating with you guys. I think it's next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, we're gonna bring a lot of.
Good,
I already know like the outfits they're gonna put on.
Good.
Yeah, we're bringing a big crew.
What is the what do you say? The
people like, some people dress really fancy. I might wear a tux for the first time.
Nice, cool.
Some people like, Naomi dared me. Name was like way I tucked. I was like, cool.
I can do really fancy or middle fancy.
Like some people will wear like very trendy party, like it's
Cool.
whatever you want it to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we're also
David will
like,
come as David.
Yeah, we're gonna take care of the guys, and afterwards we've organized a little after for them at the bar to just be like, come there and kind of enjoy it. So
I love it.
yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's a cool little celebration with the team.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Because we also told them, we were like, because I know that you guys have had some of your editorials pop into the bar every now and again. And we told them, we were like, you guys know that this means that you guys just consistently delivered.
Yeah,
So
it
whenever
does.
these guys came in, you guys just consistently gave them a good experience. So it's very much on you guys, and we want to celebrate you guys. That's what we said to our team, and we kind of like...
It's true.
Yeah, it's like a nice thing to do for them.
Very
So
awesome.
it's nice, yeah.
Yeah, excited. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for listening to VinePair's The Buildout. The show is produced, filmed, recorded, and edited by Darby Seasai. Editorial direction from VinePair's editor-in-chief, Joanna Sciarrino. Design of the logo by Marcello Bevilacqua. And thanks to the entire VinePair team, especially my co-founder, Joshua Mallon. I've been your host, Adam Teeter. Until next time, thanks for listening.